It's a 90-minute game. So why does it keep going past 100? Is the referee just adding time based on how he feels? Honestly, that's exactly what I thought at first. But it turns out there's a formula behind stoppage time that nobody ever properly explains. And once you understand that formula, everything starts to make sense. Why teams suddenly slow down when they're winning. Why some games get 3 minutes of stoppage time and others get 25. Give me 10 minutes. By the end of this, you'll be the one explaining it to everyone else watching the match. And at the very end, I'll tell you about the new rule in the 2026 World Cup that's about to make time wasting seriously backfire. Stick around. Let's start by comparing it to another sport. In basketball, the clock stops on fouls. It stops when the ball goes out. It stops during substitutions. That's why the last minute of an NBA fourth quarter can literally take 10 minutes to play out. We've all been there. That endless final minute. Football is completely different. The clock doesn't stop. A player goes down injured, clock keeps going. Ball flies into the stands, clock keeps going. A goal goes in and everyone loses their minds, clock keeps going. It just ticks from 0 to 90 like nothing happened. That's the core philosophy of football. The game doesn't stop. In theory, it's clean, simple, elegant. In practice, it created a massive loophole. What loophole? We'll get to that in a second. Here's where it gets genuinely interesting. During a 90-minute match, how long do you think the ball is actually moving? Take a guess. 80 minutes? 70? 60? The answer is somewhere between 55 and 60 minutes on average. In a 90-minute game, the ball is only actually in play for just over half the time. The other 30-odd minutes? The ball's out of bounds, a player's on the ground, or someone's slowly setting up a goal kick. So the people who wrote the rules had to figure something out. How do we make up for that lost time? That's where stoppage time comes from. Simple, right? Not even close. Because the way stoppage time actually gets calculated, that's where things get complicated. There's always a fourth official standing on the sideline. That person is tracking every single stoppage during the match and logging the time. FIFA has an official list of what counts towards stoppage time. Goals, substitutions, injuries, bookings and red cards, VAR reviews, and anything else that counts as time wasting. Each category has a rough benchmark. A substitution is about 30 seconds. A VAR check runs 1 to 2 minutes. Injuries vary. Add it all up, and at the end of each half, the fourth official walks out with that board and holds up a number. 4 minutes of stoppage time. Something like that? That part makes sense, right? Here's the problem. There's a lot of discretion involved. The same situation can produce completely different stoppage time depending on the referee. There's a framework, but it's judgment, not a precise formula. Which is exactly why fans sometimes look up at the board and think, wait, how did we get that number? Remember the Qatar World Cup? In 2022, stoppage time suddenly exploded. One match had 24 minutes of stoppage time added. 24 minutes, a 45-minute half plus 24 minutes of stoppage time. That's basically playing the first half twice. Here's what happened. FIFA told referees to start calculating stoppage time properly for that tournament. No more rounding down. No more casually slapping on 3 or 5 minutes. Track everything and add it all. And the numbers went through the roof. Fans in the stadium were genuinely confused. The game wasn't ending. When is this over? That reaction was everywhere. But here's the thing, it was actually more accurate. If 24 minutes were wasted, then 24 minutes is the right number. Which brings us to the real question. Where was all that time going in the first place? Here's that loophole I mentioned earlier. When a team is winning, what do? They slow everything down. And for a long time, this wasn't officially against the rules. The goalkeeper picking up the ball and casually rolling it to the corner. The goal kick taker strolling over to retrieve it like he's on a Sunday walk. The substitute coming off the bench at the pace of someone who just woke up. A player going to ground with no contact. Someone walking over to the referee just to say absolutely nothing useful. We've all seen it. It's infuriating. But from the winning team's perspective, it's completely rational. If you're up 1-0 with 10 minutes left, the last thing you want to do is play open football and risk giving up an equalizer. Running down the clock is the safer play. So the most dramatic competition on the planet occasionally turns into the most boring thing you've ever watched. FIFA finally decided to do something about it. Starting with the 2026 World Cup, goal kicks and throw-ins now have a 5-second time limit. If you don't play it within 5 seconds, the other team gets an indirect free kick. 5 seconds. That is not a lot of time. Try it right now. Count it out in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In those 5 seconds, you need to find the ball, carry it to the spot, set it down, look up to find a teammate, and play it. Before this rule, players were spending 30, 40 seconds on a single goal kick, looking for the ball, fixing their boots, having a chat with the referee. That doesn't work anymore. Take too long and you give the ball away. By all accounts, players were caught off guard when this first got enforced. And it hits goalkeepers especially hard, because goal kicks fall under the same rule. Speaking of goalkeepers, there's a separate rule that hits them even harder. The old rules said goalkeepers had 6 seconds to release the ball from their hands. 6 seconds. Have you ever actually seen a goalkeeper follow that rule? Me neither. Referees weren't enforcing it. Keepers would hold the ball for 10, 15 seconds, sometimes longer, and nothing would happen. Everyone knew the rule existed and everyone quietly ignored it. The 2026 World Cup changed the limit to 8 seconds, which sounds like it got more lenient, but that's not the point. The point is they're actually enforcing it now. Go past 8 seconds and the other team gets a corner kick. A corner kick. Right in front of goal. You tried to waste a few seconds and handed the opposition a dangerous set piece. Think about the pressure that puts on a goalkeeper. When you're protecting a 1-goal lead late in the game, you can't just stand there holding the ball anymore. Every second counts literally. Here's the question we've been building toward. With all these new rules in place, will stoppage time go down? In theory, yes. Less time wasting means less lost time, which means less to add back on. In practice, it's not that straightforward. VAR usage keeps increasing. A single VAR review takes 1 to 3 minutes on average. Controversial calls can eat up 5 minutes or more. The tournament also expanded to 48 teams, which means more matches, more substitutions, more stoppages. So the total amount of stoppage time might not shrink. What changes is the quality of that time. The ball is actually moving more. The game is faster, more continuous, more dynamic. When 25 minutes get added, that time is filled with actual football, not a player slowly rolling a ball toward the corner flag. That's the real shift. I want to be straight with you about something. These rules don't eliminate time wasting. Players will always find new ways. Retying boots, taking a slow walk to get water, having a word with the referee, going down lightly and taking a moment to get back up. None of that is covered by the 5-second rule. And some teams will still tactically delay substitutions, burning an extra 20 or 30 seconds on every swap. That's always been why the winning team moves slower than the losing team. We've all noticed it. That moment in the 85th minute when a player suddenly looks like he's running through sand. Now you know why. But what's different this time around is that the blatant stuff, the obvious, shameless stalling now carries real risk. You waste time the wrong way and it comes back as a corner kick or a free kick. The calculus has changed. Let's come back to where we started. It's a 90-minute game. Why does it go past 100? You know the answer now. The clock runs the whole time, but the ball doesn't. All that lost time, the injuries, the substitutions, the goal celebrations, the VAR checks, it adds up, and stoppage time is how you pay it back. It's not the referee's mood, it's math. And the teams that were exploiting that system, milking every second, they could just ran into the 2026 World Cup's new rules. 5-second countdown, 8-second goalkeeper rule, small numbers. But they changed the entire rhythm of a match. Next time you watch a game and stoppage time goes up on the board, do a quick count in your head. How many VAR checks were there? How many subs? Who was slowing things down and when? All of that is built into that number. When you understand what you're watching, the game looks completely different. That's what this channel is about, the stuff that seems obvious until someone asks you to explain it. We've got more coming throughout the World Cup. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.